And here we go again. Another foray into the exploration of the other world. Those that lurk behind us. Oh yes, and today, let's see what we have here. What shall we be exploring? 7 videos that accidentally captured something paranormal, part 5. And it's by the channel The Darkest Secret. Please go visit that channel, see what they're up to. And while you go visit that channel, remember to subscribe to this one. Go ahead and subscribe for more reactions to these videos of the netherworld. Without further ado, let us dive in to this video.
An entire mystery revolves around the paranormal. For many, it's nothing more than simple superstitions. But for others, it is part of a reality that has been with us forever. Unfortunately, the internet is full of staged events recorded under controlled environments, and none of that can be believed. However, there are videos that were recorded with another intention, but paranormal things snuck in. Join me on this adventure where we will review different videos that my audience has sent me. Here you will witness true, strange, and often inexplicable situations. My name is Leonore Clay, and this is The Darkest Secret. Today we present paranormal videos caught by accident, a terrifying compilation.
Terrified.
Number 7.
All right.
We start this investigation with an old but very interesting video. It is an old VHS tape that was found in the basement of the girl you now see on the screen. According to relatives, this girl would have been bothered by a presence since she was little. She used to sleepwalk and spend most of her time sedated because doctors had diagnosed her with psychotic episodes. But what this video leaves us with is evidence that apparently what tormented her did not live only in her mind.
What? Uh-oh. No,
You
there
can
is...
clearly see the body of a woman on the other side of the car. The strange thing here is that the being seems to be walking dangerously between both train tracks. Something completely unusual, not to say dangerous. Do you think this is real? Number 6.
No. It's a VHS tape. Number one. You could tell it's authentic by the clothes she's wearing and stuff like that. And even the trains on the track. Now, if that's somebody walking by, they wouldn't be that close up to the window. Just the fact that those trains are going that fast, you would have seen a hair flying or something, some kind of rippling in the clothes. Now, this bears the question here. Do people who have psychological issues are followed by, demons or anything? Because back in the day, way back, that's what they thought. If somebody's like got mental issues, they equate that to some kind of a evil spirit around them. And that's how exorcisms and stuff became popular. You know what I'm saying? So, but they did say she was diagnosed with schizophrenia, I think. So was that their way of trying to explain it? But then again, how do you explain this? You know what I mean? For the time frame that it is, it must have been painstaking to fabricate this. But then again, who knows? But that is kind of terrifying.
What awaits you next is a recent and also incredible video. A clip that accidentally recorded something paranormal, but most importantly is that it was captured completely live, eliminating any possibility that it could be a setup. La Vega
Oh,
Mundial. It
see?
is a Facebook page whose administrator is responsible for covering all the news that happens in the town of El Quemado in the Dominican Republic. One day, this administrator went to an unfortunate event that had occurred in a nearby lagoon. A boy had fallen, and being unable to get out, he lost his life. He went to do a live streaming to report the sad news. By the time he arrived, the body had already been pulled out of the water, so he began to interview those already at the scene. However, days later, his inbox began to fill with notifications. It turns out that some of his followers began to indicate that something had been caught on camera. The comments said that the boy's spirit was still staring at the area where he had drowned.
Está mojado. ¿Qué tiempo duraron buscándolo a él? Donde está ese tocón allá. Miren ahí, donde está ese tocón fue que encontraron al joven llamado Heriberto, que reside en el Huacalito. Eso pertenece... ¿El nombre suyo cuál es? Vemos que hay más personas también que ayudaron. ¿Cuántas personas de la comunidad? 6 personas colaboraron a encontrar al joven, que les voy a enseñar la foto ahora de nuevo, llamado Heriberto. Donde están viendo ese tronco, más adelante fue que un señor lo tocó con sus manos o sus pies.
I don't know what I'm looking for. Is it that thing right there? Oh, there it is. I see it. I see it now. Oh.
Later, the man who made the live transmission assured that he never saw that image that was reflected in the water. For many, that reflection is the spitting image of the young man who lost his life that day. A shot that is certainly impossible to falsify, since this type of transmission does not give opportunity to situations like these. In fact, the same channel administrator said that it was his own followers who noticed this image. Without a doubt, an extremely impressive moment.
Yeah, that's
Number
hard.
5.
Yeah, I remember growing up as a kid, the crust of ghosts was that they usually end up staying around where they perished. That's why houses are haunted. If somebody died in a house, that's where they stay, you know what I mean? So then, this wasn't so much scary, but curious, you know what I'm saying? Because this ghost doesn't, it's not doing anybody any harm. It's just standing there looking sad that, you know, it's this, the posture of the apparition is like, is this it? Is this where it ends? You know, I was so young, you know. That one didn't
In his
creep me out at
email, he
all.
identified himself only as Peter. A subscriber who, surfing the internet, came across an extremely interesting video uploaded to YouTube for the first time by the Tri-State Paranormal Investigators channel. The video itself tells the following story. There is a hotel called Cumberland Gap Inn, a hotel located in the state of Tennessee, United States. Many guests have asked to be changed from room 107 or simply check out after occupying it, a room where including employees say they have witnessed strange things. Among them, objects changing places and the feeling of never being alone. This is why investigators arrived at the scene after believing they had seen something moving while monitoring the DVR system. Once being in the room and after a couple of minutes, this is what the camera captured.
Oh boy. Indentation, 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 and he ain't seen it. But he feels something. Did you see how he jumped up a little bit? He sort of like sat up. See? Yep. It's a female ghost. She's like, come on, big boy. I'm over here. Can't you see me? Probably one of them roaring 20s.
Incredibly, the mattress of one of the beds sinks as if someone had sat down. Although, as the images show, they were alone in the room at all times. How can this be possible? How can you fabricate something like that? Without a doubt, one of the paranormal investigations with the most similar results to the real thing that I have seen in a long time.
That ghost is like, that'd be $20, big boy. Because, you know, ghost is going to be in all walks of life, you know what I mean? Who would be most apropos to haunt a hotel room than possibly a lady of the night being harmed in that room?
Regardless of whether this is false or not, when the paranormal occurs, according to the opinions of those who have actually experienced it, this is how it happens. Number 4.
She's still trying to make that bag. She got to eat too, even though she ain't there no more. Still want a pizza.
In this position, we find a recording that I know if
Okay,
it
this
happened to
looks
you, you would
creepy.
move back home right away.
This is
And
creepy.
speaking truthfully, who wouldn't? You see, it all happened in Javier's apartment. One of our subscribers who, along with his family, confesses the fear he has due to strange situations that have begun to occur there. He says that it has been a few months since some members of the family have begun to present strange symptoms, such as chills, intense muscle pain, and most disturbing of all, they feel a presence as if someone were inches away from their neck. They thought they were suffering from a mass psychosis or something like that, until one day one of the relatives decided to leave a camera on all night.
Oh boy.
What you now see on the screen corresponds to Javier's room. He placed the camera in this area because the strange sensations increased when trying to sleep. He felt an inexplicable fear when he closed his eyes. He left his cell phone charging and recording and went to sleep. The result of this will leave him more than petrified.
I haven't seen nothing. Oh yeah. That ain't no human eyes. Oh. can't be human eyes. The human eyes that bright, that far away in the dark. Oh no. Oh no, what's with the scary music, man?
There is no doubt that those bright eyes that stare at the camera would intimidate anyone. However, Javier asked me to apply color effects to really know what was captured there, since he suspects it is his cat. After sending this correct recording to Javier, his terror increased to the maximum point, since according to his own words, he has no idea who that person is. This is not him or any of his family members.
That's no ghost.
Nobody knows who he is.
That's a man in
The
your
most
house.
spectacular thing is that seconds later, a figure quickly passes by, erasing this person from the shot. A silhouette, an enormous figure that in Javier's own words must have measured more than 6'2". What is happening in this home? Will these supposed entities be the cause of so much chaos for Javier's family? Tell me what you think.
Okay, I am going to tell you what I think. There's something weird going on in there for sure, for sure. That looked like an actual post. How that person's eyes so bright though? Damn, who's got bright eyes like that? Now, I would like to know if this is an apartment or if this is a house. Now, if it's a house and they have an attic or a basement, you have people living in your house, bruh. You have more than one person living in your house. Because even if the other person walked by and blocked them out like that, that person could have just walked away without you seeing them because that person take up the whole thing there, right? So there could be people like come into your house for check your food, see if they're not eating it and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Now, if it's an apartment, no, this seems like it's in South America somewhere. Those apartments, buildings, a lot of them are really old, so people could get into your place easy. You know what I mean? But man, the dude's eyes are still jacked up in even there, so that leaves something. Oh, that's creepy. But you're sleeping and people are just walking around in the apartment, or even entities. Oh, that's crazy. That's nuts. My gosh, man.
Number 3. What you're about to see is a somewhat ancient paranormal phenomena. Something that if you are regular in these topics, you have probably already seen it before. But here, we will give you a deeper analysis.
Okay.
What you see in this video belongs to the popular YouTube channel
Angry Grandpa.
a channel that has been somewhat absent from the networks for some time, precisely since the unfortunate death of Angry Grandpa, the star of the channel. However, his videos will live here forever, as will his memory.
I loved me some Angry
Through
Grandpa.
the time that these boys recorded the fun of living with their grandfather, they captured dozens of what some would say were the funniest hours on YouTube. Videos that are completely far from the paranormal. Each and every one of his videos was based on comedy. However, in one of his clips, and for a few brief seconds, something completely strange can be seen, and the creators did not notice that event until their audience, in a completely terrifying way, began to point out the paranormal event that they caught near the end of the video.
Oh, I didn't know
In
Angry
it,
Grandpa was
Grandpa
haunted.
seen say goodbye, as he often does, until something extremely strange peeks out from behind. What do we see on the screen? A child who spied on the recording? Or a strange entity that looks out from inside the garbage can?
What the
Whatever it
God?
is, it disappears just seconds after the camera catches it. Many thanks to Joseph Vasquez for sending me the video.
That thing had a long neck.
Number 2.
Kind of looked like one of the kids, Angry Grandpa's grandkids, though. That's what it looked like. I've watched the show
Saraguro
a
is a
lot.
city located in the province of Loja, to the south of Ecuador. A beautiful and peaceful town whose inhabitants live day to day without much trouble. However, shocking news recently made all eyes turn to this place. This is after a taxi driver who was heading to the city on a night trip captured with the camera that he had installed on the windshield, which, according to him, has been the most shocking thing he has experienced in his life. What is it about? Watch.
Oh, just floating through the night. They are freaking scared. She's just floating through the night, boy. It's like, oh, don't get close to me.
I know that YouTubers have recorded hundreds of similar videos with better quality. I know that you yourself have seen hundreds of similar videos. But what makes this one different is that it caught the attention of the country's media because both the taxi driver and the passengers assured that this was real. That woman dressed as a bride was not prepared. There are only two options. One, it is a ghost. Or two, a crazy woman dressed as a bride. But it is not a setup. The reactions of both the driver and his passengers show the terror they felt when they unexpectedly found themselves face to face with what to this day they cannot explain, especially since the place was completely desolate. More than enough reason to think that in reality they witnessed something absolutely paranormal, or at least a completely terrifying event. Do you think the same?
Okay, this is South America. There's a lot of tales about, jilted brides and all of that. And down there, man, you jilt a woman and she go crazy on you. You don't mess with them down there when it comes to stuff like that. There's a lot of old folktale stories about that kind of stuff too. Now, she asked the question, is it just some psychologically impaired person? I'll give you a story. I remember one night I am walking in the village where I live, just walking, and all of a sudden I noticed this figure coming to me. And I'll be honest with you, man. That was back in the days when I was like looking for my leaves and thing, you know what I'm saying. So I'm like sort of floating. And here comes this person coming down to me and coming down to me. And it's not like a skinny person, but it's not a heavy set person. It was just like a well built person. And it was a woman because I see the hair and here she comes. And like as I got close to her, the figure, materialized. And it's this woman walking past me wearing lingerie. She's wearing white lingerie. And the village where I lived didn't have any street lights or anything like that. So you know what I mean? The people have to get closer. But the one thing that stuck with me was her eyes. She just stared at me as I'm going by, stared at me as I'm going by. You know what I mean? This woman always freaked me out, and I knew who she was. She was actually my next door neighbor. And we used to call her the crazy lady. You know what I mean? But here she is. It's 1 a.m. She's walking down the side of the street wearing a lacy bra, lacy underwear. Just walking and then looking at me like, scared the bejeebers out of me, man. I was like, what the bumble clot is wrong with this woman? You know what I mean? Now, in her defense, she actually wore those things during the daylight too, because she'd wear like negligee and stuff to go shopping and she thinks she's looking classy.
Comment below. Number 1. What we see next was recorded from a bedroom, a room whose frontal view gives directly to a cemetery.
Oh, no,
Without a
no,
doubt,
no,
what these
no,
two
no.
boys saw will leave a mark on the one who sleeps in this room forever.
Ho, 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 ho,
In the
ho.
video, you can see a woman barefoot walking in a rather scary way through the cemetery. Everything becomes even more gloomy when you see how the woman begins to steal the flowers from the graves. That's when the boys start yelling things at her to see if she reacts in any way.
Hey, what you doing, girl?
However, the woman seems to be lost in her own world.
What you doing,
Suddenly,
girl?
and without warning, she starts running fast and jumping over other people's graves until she disappears without a trace. Could it have been a crazy woman? Or did these boys witness real paranormal activity? Many thanks to Margarita Echeverria for sending me this video. Tell me what you think of both this and the previous footage, because this video has already come to an end.
Well, well, well. Ghosts everywhere. Now, I have a question. Why would anybody choose to live next to a cemetery? Why? No, sometimes the house is there and then the cemetery comes over. I used to visit somebody deep into the hills of Kentucky. And I'm talking way up in the hills of Kentucky. And right next to the house was a graveyard. And there was graves there from the 18th century. But there wasn't any family members buried there. It was just people. And this was way out in the hills where coal trucks just zone by, going up the holler, like they say. And it was complete darkness when you step outside. And it's amazing how people get so comfortable just living there. And it's just like, home. This is my home. I'm here. However, I've never heard any stories of paranormal activity there. And I've known these people for 40 years. And still, they have not bumped into anything, seen anything. Does that mean that you have to be a special type of person to see them, or that you have to be actively seeking them out and then they know that, so here I am, since you're looking for me? Oh, I guess we'll never know. We'll never know. So, if you're walking down the street and you feel on your shoulder, turn around swinging or run. And if you want to find out how not to deal with said situations and you love the dark, this is the place for you.